Welcome to Module 1 of the GTFCC Introduction course on the Identification of Priority Areas for Multisectoral Interventions, PAMIs. In this module, you will learn what PAMIs are and what the overall purpose of PAMI identification is. After completing this module, you will be able to explain what PAMIs are, understand how PAMI identification increases the effectiveness and the efficiency of mid to long-term strategies against cholera, describe the key benefits of using GTFCC methods to identify PAMIs. Let's see what mid to long-term strategies against cholera are. As a reminder, cholera is an acute diarrheal disease which spreads through contaminated food and water. Cholera can spread rapidly and cause large outbreaks. Although cholera is preventable and treatable, severe form of the disease can lead to dehydration and death within hours, if not treated. Cholera is a marker of inequity. It disproportionately impacts the poorest and most vulnerable populations that have limited access to water, sanitation, and hygiene. WASH. In 2017, the Global Task Force on Cholera Control, GTFCC, launched a global roadmap to end cholera. This global roadmap aims to achieve a 90% reduction in cholera deaths and cholera elimination in up to 20 cholera-affected countries. The global roadmap calls for multi-sectoral mid to long-term national strategies against cholera that are spatially targeted to priority geographic areas. These targeted strategies against cholera are defined in National Cholera Plans, NCP. All countries that are affected by cholera or that are at risk for cholera are urged to develop an NCP. An NCP is a country-specific plan. Its development and its implementation are led by each country. An NCP sets the country's objective and operational strategies against cholera for an implementation period of usually 5 years or so. In countries where there is no to limited cholera transmission, an NCP aims to eliminate cholera. In countries where there is moderate to high cholera transmission, an NCP aims to control cholera. Over time, as these countries progress in controlling cholera with an effective NCP, they also progress towards an elimination objective. To be effective, strategies against cholera defined in NCP must be multisectoral and include interventions across all cholera control and prevention pillars. These are surveillance, case management, vaccination, community engagement, and WASH. To be efficient, multisectoral strategies against cholera defined in NCPs must be spatially targeted to priority geographic areas. This is in order to focus efforts and resources against cholera in the geographic areas where multisectoral interventions are expected to have the greatest public health impact. These geographic areas where strategies and efforts against cholera are focused are the PAMIs, the priority areas for multisectoral interventions against cholera. In the past, you may have heard about PAMIs being referred to as cholera hotspots. Hotspot is an historical terminology. The underlying concept is similar to PAMIs. Let's see when and how a country should identify PAMI. The identification of PAMIs is one of the first steps when a country engages in the development or in the update of its NCP. The NCP process consists of 4 phases. First is the inception phase, then comes the phase to develop or update the NCP, which is followed by the implementation phase that is continuously monitored. At the inception phase, country stakeholders commit to engage in cholera control or elimination with an NCP. This requires high-level political, technical, and financial commitment. Once this commitment has been secured, the country can initiate PAMI identification. Typically, PAMI identification should be updated every 5 years. An NCP usually has an implementation period of about 5 years. This means that an NCP should be updated roughly every 5 years. As countries update their NCP, they also update their PAMI identification. This ensures that strategies set in the updated NCP remain adequately targeted as the country cholera situation evolves. In addition, if during the NCP implementation period there are significant changes in the cholera situation or in the country vulnerability to cholera, it is recommended to update PAMI identification before the term of the NCP implementation period. To identify PAMIs, countries should use the PAMI methods developed by the GTFCC. There are two GTFCC methods to identify PAMIs. One is for countries aiming to develop or update an NCP to control cholera. The other method is for countries aiming to develop or update an NCP to eliminate cholera. The GTFCC PAMI methods were released in 2023 and replaced all previous methods. Importantly, using GTFCC methods to identify PAMI is a prerequisite for countries to be able to access the oral cholera vaccine for preventive use. It is also a prerequisite for countries to be able to have their NCP endorsed by the GTFCC. The GTFCC PAMI methods are international standards. Using these methods comes with major advantages for countries. First, the GTFCC PAMI methods are data-driven methods grounding decision-making on PAMIs on the data to inform the decision-making. In addition, the GTFCC PAMI methods offer some flexibility, allowing each country to determine the best balance in its specific context between the feasibility of implementing multi-sectoral interventions in PAMIs versus the potential public health impact of the future NCP. Decision-making on PAMIs using GTFCC methods promotes consensus building among country stakeholders representing multiple sectors. As a result, using GTFCC PAMI methods maximizes buy-in and multi-sectoral engagement in the NCP. Furthermore, the GTFCC PAMI methods come with a broad package of supporting material, making them easy to use. Countries using GTFCC PAMI methods can also benefit from technical assistance through the network of GTFCC partners. Lastly, the GTFCC PAMI methods are well-recognized international standards. Using them is a prerequisite for countries to be able to move forward smoothly in next steps following PAMI identification. As we wrap up this module, here are the important points to remember. Countries can achieve cholera control or elimination with multi-sectoral strategies spatially targeted to priority geographic areas. These geographic areas are the PAMI. These strategies are defined in NCP. The identification of PAMI and the NCP should be periodically updated. Typically, they are updated every 5 years. Different methods apply to identify PAMI depending on whether an NCP aims to control cholera or to eliminate cholera. Countries should identify PAMI using GTFCC PAMI methods. The GTFCC PAMI methods are well-recognized international standards, and using them is a prerequisite for countries to be able to move forward smoothly in the next steps of NCP development and implementation, for example, accessing the oral cholera vaccine for preventive use or achieving GTFCC endorsement of their NCP. Before moving on to the next module, we encourage you to take a short quiz. There are 3 questions in this quiz. Question 1. What is a National Cholera Plan, NCP? A. An emergency plan for cholera outbreak response. B. A long-term strategic plan to eradicate cholera. C. A mid to long-term actionable plan to control or eliminate cholera. The correct answer is C. An NCP is a mid to long-term actionable plan to control or eliminate cholera. Question 2. What are PAMIs? A. Geographic areas where multi-sectoral interventions against cholera are expected to have the greatest public health impact. B. Geographic areas prioritized for emergency cholera response. C. Geographic areas where cholera has recently been introduced. The correct answer is A. PAMIs are the geographic areas where multi-sectoral interventions against cholera are expected to have the greatest public health impact. Question 3. This is the last question. What does the acronym PAMI stand for in the context of cholera control and elimination? A. Primary areas for measures implementation. B. Priority areas for multi-sectoral interventions. C. Priority areas for maximum involvement. The correct answer is B. PAMIs are priority areas for multi-sectoral interventions. We have now completed this module.